Pump.fun was the most successful coin in the top 100 cryptocurrencies in the month of September 2025, making a crazy 3x, and so far it's been correcting like crazy from 0.8 to 0.5. Now, as always, guys, there are a few key players that are running the show, okay? So similarly with Pump.fun, similarly to how it happens with many other crypto tokens, you will have just a few, very few players that are absolutely running everything. Now, what I've made in the past is Rollbit Market-Makers on-chain tracker, okay? Basically, I found the market-making wallets of the Rollbit token, and I was trading it like crazy because I saw what the market makers were doing and I was able to just front run it again and again. Now we're gonna get into this video's details soon. So with Pump.fun, it's not gonna be exactly the same. We have to understand generally what the market makers are doing. But bottom line is that I have this blueprint, really successful blueprint, with also quite a lot of likes here on Dune Analytics, of this dashboard, and now I've created a new dashboard for Pump.fun. So welcome back to AR7 Crypto channel, and let's find out about what exactly are we talking here about. So basically I was looking, right, so I also mentioned here Pump.fun was really successful in September 2025, and I wanted to find the top 10 traders, okay, on chain, the best traders that have made the best P&Ls, profit and losses, on chain, right? So like I mentioned, you normally have just a few, very few players that are running the show, like I said earlier, right? So let's have a look here. So number one had $109 million in profit, and that's a Wintermute market making bot, okay? So just for your reference, just so you understand, number one, the top trader on chain on Pump.fun made $109 million worth of profit. How much did number two make? 5.8. Okay, and that's another bot. But like, this is the difference. 109, 5.8. Then number three, you know, 3 million, still somewhat closer. So like you have someone who made more than 100 million, and then the other bots made, you know, 5, 3, 2 million and even less. This is not a bot, but this is, you know, somebody who participated in the ICO and was not a normal trader. So, just by the way, if you're curious, right? So all of these, like number 5, 6, all of them are either ICO dumpers or either, you know, arbitrage or MEV bots. So where are the human traders, right? Among the top 10 most profitable pump on-chain traders, nobody was a retail human. So if we want to find the best human trader, not an ICO dumper, right? Somebody who, you know, basically, so this trader that we're gonna see here, it is someone who bought Pump.fun here and sold here, right? Bought low, sold high. Now, this is, like I said, the best on-chain trader. The first human normal trader is only number 69 in PNL, and he made 268,000. So we are gonna make, you know, this video with the new dashboard that I'm making here, so that the retail can have a little bit more of edge. Now I'm gonna use this dashboard myself also to trade Pump.fun, because, you know, it's a big token with a lot of liquidity. So similarly to the success I had earlier with Rollbit, I want to replicate it with Pump, and I want to share it here on YouTube, on Dune Analytics and Twitter X, so that anybody who just finds this online and they're interested in trading Pump.fun, they can use it for their advantage. Now, as normal, this is not financial advice, you know, I'm developing this tool for myself, but I'm sharing it online so that anybody who wants, they can do whatever they want. All right, so basically my Dune Analytics dashboard here is gonna track, right, this number one PNL trader. Now I'm gonna look if they add like some other significant market makers that are moving the price quite a lot. If it happens, then of course I can add it also here so that we can see them. But for now, we're tracking only one wallet, only this wallet, which I'm gonna share, you know, in the description of this YouTube video. You're gonna be able to also, like, you know, find this this wallet. But basically, like you can see, even here in SolScan, it says Wintermute automated liquidity bot, right? So Wintermute is one of the largest market makers in the crypto world, and they have in the past they were market making on centralized exchanges, which they still do, and now they also have decentralized exchange market making, which of course, because that's on the blockchain, we can track all of this and we can make dashboards, you know, that are showing us exactly what they're doing. All right, so now let's go to the dashboard, right? So I wanted to explain, if you're gonna see also my first dashboard that I made about Rollbit in the past, and you're gonna see this one about Pump.fun, I want you to explain kind of some differences, right? So why I'm personally gonna use them a little bit differently, because like you have to look at the data and you have to understand what the market maker, right? What this top, 109 million profit wallet, what are they doing? What do they want to do, right? What is their goal, right? So let's start from a few very major important differences, right? From Rollbit to Pump.fun for you to understand something important. So Rollbit, their market makers, their token, first of all, is not nearly as successful as Pump.fun, right? So Pump.fun has, $1 billion worth of 24-hour volume. It's listed on many centralized exchanges. It has a lot of liquidity, right? So basically you can trade on all of these exchanges, and you can buy every single you can buy Pump on all of these exchanges, including decentralized exchanges, for like 200,000, and you will not really move the price that much. You will not have that much slippage. So, it's a huge coin. So, of course, I'm expecting this token to be really substantial and successful, right? Now, Rollbit, for the comparison, right? It's a much smaller token. It's number 400 versus Pump.fun was number 78. And the trading volume, is like under 1 million. It's not listed on centralized exchanges. It's only on Uniswap, decentralized exchange. So you get the point, right? So like these are two different animals. Pump.fun and Rollbit are two very different animals. So Rollbit, right? They were a lot more successful actually early on in 2023. And in 2023, I can show you, right? So Bitcoin today is like 109,000 as I'm recording the video. Back into when Rollbit, kind of were successful here, this was kind of the main success that Rollbit had, was sort of, all the way to November 2023 and, July, August 2023. You can see Bitcoin at the time was only starting its bull run. Like Bitcoin was between 25K to 30K. Today it's 109K, right? Solana, for example, was still like in the $17, $20 region. Now it's, around 200. So in total, Rollbit, these market making wallets, you see, they were selling Rollbit like all of this time. And by the way, this is why also Rollbit, of course, couldn't succeed. Why Rollbit is, went down basically throughout the whole bull run. And you see, in total, they sold $80 million kind of at the peak, and now I guess they're even trying to like buy it slightly back to revive the token a little bit. But basically, they sold around $80 million over 2 years, right? Since July 2023. Pump.fun guys, they already sold. So like within the next few days, right? So like within a week, right? So from July 14 until July 21st. They sold 56 million. And up until now, they sold 141 million in net. Okay, they're selling it quite massively. So this is one of the most important differences for us to understand, right? So Rollbit market makers, when they were selling so much Rollbit, right, they started early on in the bull run, okay, with a token that is a lot less liquid and is a lot less traded, not as much as Pump.fun. So they had to sell, they basically had to operate a little bit differently. So with Rollbit at the time, you see, when the market makers were buying more than they were selling, okay, when the green bars here were larger than the red, basically this was like I have more details here, right? But this was normally the time to buy, kind of to go with what the market, the large, entity, the largest entity in the Rollbit ecosystem token is doing, okay? You see they're starting to buy, so you can also join kind of the new party here, for example, at 11 cents. And once they start selling heavily here, like, in November, you can see, all right, so this is my time to get out at 20 cents. So, like I said, Pump.fun is slightly different, okay? Why is it different? Because it's a much larger token. Plus, we're in 2025. This is not 2023 anymore when Bitcoin was 25K. Bitcoin now is 100 and something K. We are at we're not in the beginning of the bull run. We're getting closer to the end of the bull run. Therefore, the market makers, they will have a very different strategy. So I have here kind of the same bars that we can see, and you can see like the red here is dominating like crazy. Like they are focused on selling Pump.fun primarily. Like they rarely, really have more green than red in a single day. But that said, you see, guys, still like if you look at it, just very simplistically, right? So we can see that the red, since the token only launched early on in the beginning, right? July 14th, right? When they only launched, let's just switch it to the daily for now. It's going to be easier to see. When they only launched, right? The token went down quite a lot, right? It went like from 6 and something cents. 0.6 to 0.2, it went 62% down, and you can see like the main sellers, the main entity that was driving the price down, even though it was like ICO dumpers too and other stuff too, but it was generally primarily, this wallet with 109 million profit, or even more now. So you see, they were like, the red here was like dominating like crazy. And for example here, so like late July, right? Let's have a look here. So late July was sort of the first opportunity to buy, but you can see that the dashboard will show you that like late July to mid-August, right? We did have somewhat of a move, like a 43% move, which is kind of okay. But you can see the dashboard will show you that, look, it's still not like the real move, if that makes sense, right? And you can see like eventually Pump.fun pumped a lot more, right? So this was not still the real move. Why? Because we could see that every single day, still the market makers, like I said, the largest entity in the whole Pump token ecosystem, is still selling like crazy, still like primarily red, right? Now, like you can see, we started to shift over here. Now, arguably, you could think maybe this is a shift, right? So I guess you want to see this like, over 3 to 4 days, right? You need to basically see the green, show a little bit more, a little bit more of itself, just like over here, right? And unlike it was here. And basically over here, once it turned green, this was the time to flip bullish, okay? In the later part of August, if you look according to the dashboard that we've made here. So here in the later part of August, which nothing's absolutely perfect, and like I said, this entity is the most significant in the Pump token ecosystem. What's happening with the Pump token, according to how much they're selling and buying. But there are other traders too, right? So like it's not like it's gonna help us to catch the bottom, but it will help us identify the trend. Identify the trend. So we can see that from here, from that kind of higher low, and they started to buy, we had a much better opportunity, a trade of 3x in a fairly short amount of time, in like 2 weeks. Which was again a much more significant move, breaking new all-time highs than what we had in the middle of August. So all of that is something that this dashboard could help us with. Now let's move on kind of more to the future, right? How I see what kind of the market makers are doing, and what also could happen with the Pump token, just also as I'm recording the video here. So like I said, the market makers flipped a little bit more bullish. They started buying more. That said, sometimes they're buying, they're making profit like every single day, right? So they started buying more like tokens, but they're still like selling more US dollars. You know what I mean? So they're still enjoying kind of the intraday volatility, right? And they're also making profit, yes, almost every single day on all of the unfortunate retail. So in Pump.fun's case, in this dashboard's case, I added another extra, not dashboard, but extra bar chart, which is primarily negative bar chart over here, to help us also see, do they buy or sell more? That helps us quite a lot. But I also want to see, did they buy more net US dollars, or did they sell more? So they are focused primarily on selling, right? So they're probably selling it either for the team or for themselves or for both. So we know that they are the largest sellers in the ecosystem, and they're selling basically every single day. There were, very few days when they were buying in more US dollars than they were selling, which is, also reflected over here in the area chart. But that said, what I'm trying to say here, guys, is that you see, so like I mentioned here, so in the beginning they were selling heavily every single day, like, on this individual day they sold more than, in these 2 days actually, they sold more than $10 million just in one single day. Now, when the price was recovering, they relaxed. We also have the price actually over here, right? So the price stopped going down. When it was going down substantially, they were selling quite a lot. Then they started selling relatively less. Okay, but still kind of substantially, somewhat. And then, like I said, the later part of August, end of August, was kind of the best opportunity to buy Pump.fun when they were selling, even less. And sometimes they were even, like flat or slightly positive, which was still not happening like in the first part of August. So most recently, right, so we could have identified this kind of top with the Pump token, the top over here, like at almost 1 cent. We can see that they started selling a lot heavier, right? So that was a good time to de-risk and to sell once we see them kind of starting to go crazier, like they did here, and they did also the same here. Now, the very last few days, basically we'll need to still monitor this dashboard every day. But for now, it's still early on. We want to see like another 1, 2, 3, 4 days or so. I'm recording this video, by the way, on Friday, and it's going to be published on Sunday. So this dashboard will have a little bit more data by the time this video is released. So all in all, I think, all in all, based on the dashboard I created and also based on technical analysis, I think Pump.fun is close to at least an intermediate bottom. Which also very possibly I think could be like a macro new bottom, and then Pump could go even to much higher prices, and maybe potentially is setting up a new potential 3x move, maybe within the next few month and a half or something like that. Now remember that at least over here, right, like at least in the last case we had kind of a bottom, we had a mini pump, still not the substantial pump. And then we had another higher low, at least in this case, another dump. So, and the best opportunity was here. So it is possible we're gonna have a really good opportunity within the next few days. But just based on how it happened before, even though like in this case this was the low, the really great trading opportunity was slightly later, was a little bit more over here. So what exactly am I gonna do here? So let's add a little bit first focus on the technical analysis here, right? So if we, when we're dumping, I like to use Fibonacci. So if we look at the Fibonacci, for now, it's holding support here at the, this is the 618, yeah, on the 618 region. Now, look, generally, they're still kind of depending, if Bitcoin and Ethereum will come back to, dump even more. Specifically today as I'm recording the video, Ethereum looks not very bad, kind of potentially coming back to 4,000, but Bitcoin, which is still kind of our main compass in in crypto to know what the altcoins will do, we have to see what Bitcoin is doing. Bitcoin is still very far away from coming back to being still on the bullish side in the short term. Like it has to come back to 112,000. Ethereum has to come back to 40, just under 4,100, but to be conservative, we'll say 4,100. So anyway, as long as, so if Bitcoin and Ethereum are coming back, in Ethereum's case to 4,100, in Bitcoin's case, Bitcoin is more important than Ethereum in terms of to know what Pump.fun is going to do. Bitcoin has to come back to 112 to 113. If they do that, then very likely, the bottom will be here for Pump.fun. But if there will still be like an extra kind of leg down still left there for Bitcoin and Ethereum to even keep further falling, Pump.fun is unlikely, if Pump.fun still holds the same lows while Bitcoin and Ethereum are going lower, that could be actually fantastic. That could be a really strong sign of strength. But it rarely happens. So most likely if Bitcoin and Ethereum are going down, Pump.fun will go down more. Then once they will go up, then Pump.fun will go up a lot more, just like it did here before. So bottom line, I think, for me at least, all of this region between, let's say, 0.4 to 0.5, where we are right now, is a really nice region to really be focused, to either, for me at least, to either start buying or, you know, to be very focused on being ready to buy. Because, like I said, I'm gonna use this, Bitcoin and Ethereum, to understand what they are doing. Then I'll be watching what Pump.fun is doing. And then, of course, now with this dashboard, I'm gonna watch on-chain, what the Wintermute market makers are doing. And long story short, right, I wanna see something similar to what happened here in late August. I want to see, and I mean, you know, it's been only 2 days or 3 days, so it's, you know, I don't want to call it too early, because they may still come back to selling a little bit more, like over here, you know, like back to the 1 to 3 millions per day or something like that. But most recently, you know, they've been selling relatively less. Similarly to here, we had one flat day. Here they were still selling quite a lot. So, look, the good news, like what I understand from here, the good news is it seems like, you know, from 0.6 and lower, they seem to not want to, like, they don't want to push the price further down. So it looks like the price now is being pushed more by retail, more by the other traders, and not by the market makers. Whilst before that, they were like the main responsible ones to sell the pumps, you know, sell the tops. Now it looks like they don't want to sell a lot for now. But again, like I said, you know, this is why you're welcome to subscribe to the channel. You're welcome to follow me, you know, on X, on YouTube, on Dune Analytics and everything. And of course, you know, keep this dashboard also for your own use. We need to see, like, what I'm gonna be looking for, like I said, is something more reminiscent of this. I want to see, you know, at least a week, right? At least a week that I see they're not selling that much, which would show that, you know, they're looking for a new upside momentum. They don't want to stifle the token and keep taking it further down. And of course, at the same time, I would like also the price to do something somewhat similar to here, right? I want some consolidation. I want a more, you know, like we dumped only yesterday, right? Like on Thursday, that would be, you know, like something like 10%, right? So I want a more definitive end of the downtrend. Like I said, based on Fibonacci, you know, it's a very reasonable bottom here at, you know, around 0.5. But based on the, like, you know, based on the structure of the chart, even though it doesn't have that much history yet, you see that, like, this top over here in mid-August was kind of a lot more significant than here. So like 0.5, again, it could bottom here. That could be great. That's kind of also a round number. It's always nice to bottom at round numbers. But, you know, there was not, like, at least before that, there was not a lot of history here. Maybe only here, right? So it was resistance before the significant breakout. So all in all, it's a very decent area for support, but I just mean that I think if Bitcoin and Ethereum are going down and everything, or if they, Pump.fun are deciding to sell kind of a lot more for whatever reason. So I think, you know, we could still go down to, you know, another, how much? Like to the 0.4 region, which, you know, it could be an 18% loss. I'm personally a trader who's making stop losses, so I'm not holding anything for 18% losses. But yeah, bottom line, I think this is a really good region to, like I said, to focus and start trading. Then if it gets to 0.4, in my personal opinion, it's gonna be like a really nice opportunity, because at least it will need to have some really significant bounce, you know, from there, even if it's not gonna be on new all-time highs. But that said, again, as long as, I mean, even if the bull run is over, I think Pump.fun will probably, you know, it will still be able to make new all-time highs. Like even the last time in late 2021, when the bull run was over, by April 2022 or by January 2022, we still had other like really successful altcoins still making new all-time highs. For example, Phantom or Terra Luna before it collapsed. Now, I don't think that the bull run is over. I think Bitcoin, like my base case is Bitcoin and Ethereum will still have like higher highs than the last all-time highs both of them had. So this is my base case. But my point is, for the sake of, because our video here is primarily about Pump.fun, even if the bull market is over, I think Pump.fun can still make new all-time highs, but just if the bull market is over, then of course that new all-time high is going to be a lot less significant. So all of that being said, guys, yeah, I'm very happy coming back making YouTube videos. I haven't done a YouTube video for a very long time, as I've had a lot of changes. I've moved to a new place. I I had a lot of changes in my personal life and also my professional life, so I had to build and develop lots of stuff that I've been working on. But now, fortunately, I will have a little bit more time. I'm gonna be back making YouTube videos. I'm also starting to do some, some posts also on X, on Twitter too. I have a lot less following for now on X because I haven't been active there. But yeah, I'm gonna be back to YouTube. So yeah, thank you very much for everyone who is still watching the videos. And yeah, guys, I'm gonna stay here in the bear market too. Now, when I'm gonna be bearish, likely my videos are not gonna succeed that much because bearish videos are not doing that great. But even in the bear market, you can still make money. Either if you go long, like on the bottoms, you just need to be aware that this is a bear market and you're not gonna make massive gains, or you can short. So I'm glad to be back. I'm gonna be around. And yeah, guys, and Pump.fun, like I said, this is one of the main coins I'm looking for within the next few weeks and months. I think it's still gonna be successful. But yeah, now we just need to use this extra tool for everyone who's following AR7 crypto. And yeah, hopefully it will give us an extra edge, just like we had an extra edge before that with Rollbit. So thank you very much, guys, once again. Have a fantastic week and a fantastic weekend ahead, and cheers as always.